Long before satellites mapped the oceans, before we believed we ruled the seas, the world's waters were thought to be alive with an ancient intelligence. Sailors didn't just fear storms or sea monsters. They feared something watching them from below. In whispered tavern stories and weathered ship logs, one name appeared again and again: mermaids. According to the oldest legends, mermaids weren't just half-human, half-fish creatures. They were an ancient civilization, older than human cities, older than recorded history. It was said they were born from the sea itself, shaped by the tides, the moonlight, and the crushing pressure of the deep. Their true home was a vast underwater realm, known in myths as the Hidden Kingdom. The earliest of these stories come from ancient Mesopotamia and Assyria. Legends spoke of the goddess Atargatis, who, in her grief, fell into the sea and transformed into a being half-human, half-fish. From her transformation, the first mermaids were supposedly born. These early mermaids were believed to hold divine knowledge. They understood the currents, the storms, and even the future. As these myths traveled across cultures, the image of the mermaid began to change. In ancient Greece, they became intertwined with the sirens, creatures whose songs could bend the human mind. While sirens were originally described as bird-like beings, over centuries, their image merged with that of mermaids. The voice became their greatest power, a tool of both beauty and terror. Mermaid songs were said to be unlike any sound on earth. They weren't just music, they were pure emotion: sorrow, longing, joy, and warning, all woven into a single, irresistible melody. Sailors claimed that when the sea was unnaturally calm and the moon reflected perfectly on the water, the songs would begin to rise from the depths. Some believed these songs were traps, beautiful deceptions meant to lure ships toward jagged rocks and hidden reefs. Others thought they were cries of loneliness from being strapped between two worlds, unable to fully belong to either the land or the sea. Many ships vanished after such encounters, leaving behind only splintered wood and the unanswered questions of their fate. But were mermaids guardians or destroyers? The stories never gave a clear answer. They were never purely evil, nor purely kind. In some legends, they were fierce protectors of the ocean. They punished those who polluted the seas or hunted its creatures recklessly. Sudden storms, rogue waves, and entire shipwrecks were sometimes blamed on their anger. They were nature's enforcers, defending their home against careless intruders. Yet, other stories told of their compassion. Tales of mermaids saving sailors were just as common, pulling drowning men from the wreckage, guiding lost ships through thick fog, or appearing before captains to warn them of coming storms. Fishermen would often leave offerings of food or trinkets in the sea, hoping to earn the favor of these mysterious and powerful beings. During the Age of Exploration, as humanity's reach stretched across the globe, reports of mermaid sightings increased dramatically. Sailors at sea for months, even years, under harsh and isolating conditions, claimed to see human-like figures rising from the waves. Even the famous explorer Christopher Columbus recorded seeing what he believed were mermaids on his voyage to the Americas, though he disappointedly noted they were not as beautiful as they are painted. Modern scientists, of course, have a different explanation. They suggest these sightings were likely misidentified marine mammals, like manatees or dugongs, their shapes distorted by exhaustion, distance, and the powerful grip of imagination. But sailors insisted. They swore they knew the difference between an animal and something that watched them with human eyes, with an intelligence that felt ancient and knowing. But then, as human technology advanced, something changed. With the rise of massive steamships, the invention of sonar that pierced the ocean's silence, and the explosion of industrial fishing, mermaid sightings began to decline. The oceans grew louder, busier, and more crowded. New myths emerged to explain their disappearance. Some legends claim the mermaids simply retreated, moving to the deepest, darkest trenches of the ocean, far beyond human reach, where they could live in peace. But darker tales suggest they were driven away, or worse, hunted into extinction by a world that no longer had room for magic. Environmental destruction became a recurring theme in these modern myths. The idea that mermaids vanished because humans disrespected the ocean turned them into powerful symbols of nature's sorrow and its potential for revenge. They became a warning of what we stand to lose when we forget that the world is bigger than just us. But one theme has remained constant throughout the ages: the mermaid's deep, unwavering curiosity about humans. Many stories focus on this single, powerful longing. They watched from below as humans sang, danced, and lived their short but passionate lives on land. It was a world so different from their own, a world of fire, air, and solid ground. Inevitably, some mermaids were said to fall in love with sailors, dreaming of a life on the surface. But crossing from their world into the human world always came with a terrible price. Legends from all over the world speak of mermaids giving up their voices, their tails, or even their immortality to walk on land. These tales almost always end in tragedy, a heartbreaking reminder that some worlds and some loves are never meant to merge. Today, mermaids live on, more popular than ever in our movies, books, and art. Their image has softened over time, transforming from dangerous sea spirits into symbols of freedom, individuality, and a deep connection to the natural world. They represent the wild spirit within us, the part that yearns for something more than what we see on the surface. Yet, beneath all the fantasy, the original mystery remains. The ocean is still the most unexplored part of our planet. More than 80% of it remains unmapped, unseen, and unknown. The deep sea is a world of crushing pressure and eternal darkness, a place where life exists in forms we can barely imagine. Some believe that if mermaids ever existed, the vast, mysterious ocean would be the perfect place to hide them. In the end, whether mermaids are a forgotten chapter of history or simply a beautiful myth, their stories endure. They persist because they represent something deeply human: our fear of the unknown and our simultaneous fascination with it. They remind us that the ocean is not just water, it is a world filled with secrets, with memory, and with an ancient, untamable power. Perhaps mermaids were never meant to be proven real. Perhaps they exist in the space between fact and folklore for a reason: to make us look out at the waves and wonder, to make us question what really lies beneath the surface, and to remind us, humbly, that some mysteries should and will remain untouched. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by the hidden stories of our world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next one.